I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey Patriot Warrior fam, I'm Face, and these are the histories that America forgot. According to Military Wiki, quote, the Battle of Refugio was fought between March 12th and March 15th, 1836, near Refugio, Texas. Mexican General Jose Urrea and 1,500 Centralista soldiers fought against Ammon Butler King and his 28 American volunteers, and Lieutenant Colonel William Ward and his approximately 120 Americans. The battle, a part of the Goliad campaign of the Texas Revolution, resulted in a Mexican victory and splintered Texan resistance. Colonel James Fannin and his men had improved the fortifications at the old Presidio La Bahia and renamed it Fort Defiance. News of the fate of the Texans under Frank W. Johnson at the Battle of San Patricio and James Grant at the Battle of Agua Dulce, both captured in earlier fights, created confusion rather than stirring the volunteers gathered at Goliad into action. Centralist sympathizers had gathered and raided Victoria earlier in the month. To make matters worse, Fannin learned that some colonists who supported the revolt were in danger from Urrea's advance. On March 10th, he sent William C. Francis on area patrol and sent Ammon B. King with a small force and wagons to collect families and escort them back to Goliad. March 11th was spent gathering families and loading carts for the return trip. However, on the 12th, King decided to confront the Centralista forces of Carlos de la Garza and the rancheros that rode with him. The opposition forces proved to be greater than imagined. King then asked Fannin to send help. King and the Kentucky Mustangs took refuge in the old Nuestra Señora del Refugio mission at Refugio on March 12th. Receiving word, Fannin dispatched William Ward, commanding a group from Peyton S. Wyatt and the Georgia Battalion to assist King. Ward made his stand at the mission and a furious battle ensued. Although successful in breaking up the siege on the 13th, the arrival of Ward at Refugio initiated a conflict over command between the two officers. This dispute caused the insurgents to break into smaller detachments. King left and ventured to attack a nearby ranch believed to be Centralistas, killing 8. As more of Urrea's troops began to arrive, fighting with Ward and the men continued. The groups held their own on the 14th, repelling 4 assaults and inflicting heavy casualties, 80 to 100, and wounding 50 of the Mexican troops. The Texians suffered light losses, about 15, but were now short on ammunition and supplies. King returned from his raid in the evening but could not get to the mission for safety. They would fight from a tree line across from it near the Mission River, where they also inflicted heavy losses upon the Mexican army. Ward sent courier James Humphreys to Fannin for direction. Edward Perry returned word from Fannin to fall back to Victoria, where Texian forces were later to regroup. At night, the group attempted to escape. The wounded and a few others would remain safely behind. Their flight seemed successful at first, but there were overwhelming amounts of Mexican troops in wait. Each group was subsequently defeated and its survivors captured by Urrea's troops. After battling for 12 hours and inflicting heavy casualties on their enemies, they would only suffer 1 casualty and 4 wounded. 32 men and King would surrender on the 15th, after their remaining powder became unusable after crossing the river. They would be returned as prisoners of war to the Refugio mission. On March 16th, 15 men were executed, King and the remnants of his company, and several of Ward's men. Juan Jose Holsinger, a German-Mexican officer, saw fit to save Louis Ayers, Francis Diederich, Benjamin Odlum, and 8 men from local families. The remaining 15 men were spared to serve the Mexican army as artisans, blacksmiths, wheelwrights, mechanics. Ward and the bulk of his men escaped toward Capano, then turned at Melon Creek and headed for Victoria, where he thought Fannin would be, hearing the gunfire on the Coleto Creek as they moved on. At Victoria, they found no time for rest. It was too overrun with Urrea's troops. The group was forced to scatter after a short skirmish erupted with Urrea's cavalry. Staying off the main roads, they moved toward Lavaca Bay, with 10 of them eventually escaping. The remainder were to be captured on March 22nd by Urrea, 2 miles from Demit's Landing. Informed of Fannin's surrender, Ward's group was marched back to Victoria, where Holsinger again saved 26 men by conscripting them as laborers for Urrea. Urrea had left Colonel Telesforo Alaves in charge of Victoria. Senora Francita Alaves intervened with her husband as well to make sure the captive laborers' lives would be saved. The remainder were sent to Goliad by March 25th. Fannin learned of Ward and King's fate on the 17th and had finally left for Victoria on the 19th, which proved to be too late as the right wing of the Spanish army was now in place to capture Fort Defiance. Fannin and his command would never make it to Victoria. The majority of Texans that were killed in the series of skirmishes or were captured or later executed, some in the Goliad massacre, occurred following King's and Ward's rift. Fannin had received orders from General Sam Houston, while King and Ward were away, that directed him to evacuate Goliad and retire to Victoria as soon as possible. Reluctant to leave before various detachments returned, Fannin failed to leave Goliad ahead of Urrea's advance leading to the Battle of Coleto.
I can hear the drums in the distance. I can feel the fear, the resistance. Everything can change in an instant. You might stay alive if you listen. Your best friend is your instincts, don't think. Trust me, everything can change in a blink. Hearts race, I can feel my heart pounding. Hold our heads up and this the chant we'll be shouting. This is war, you won't take me. This is war, you can't break me. It's just me, no saving. I'm the only one who could save me. So stand strong, stand tall, stay up, don't fall. Give it everything you got, no fears, no walls. Just fight, no laws. Push yourself to the limit, just to fight for it all.
Then I'm on top of it, I got fuel for days, it's a weapons that you can't stop, yeah, I won't think twice until the end of me won't make it out alive. I got a full supply of energy and might, you pick the wrong side, Can't I go, taking every single blow to the dome, never slow, pushing through it cause you know that I chose to be known, legendary, I'ma show everybody in this battle that comes close, they exposed, yeah.